I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars.
What's good? We're going to get into TNA Impact from August the 27th, 2026. This was a pretty decent episode of TNA Impact. I thoroughly enjoyed this. They are still pushing young, new talent in the form of Leon Slater, which is great. I like that. We are seeing more debuts. So we saw the debut of Zoey Stark on this show, which is great. So she's now with TNA. They probably have her under a 6-month deal. And I'm pretty sure once her deal is up, she'll probably end up re-signing. And Zoey Stark is a really good fit in TNA. Hopefully Alba Fire can join the Knockouts roster, because TNA right now has so many open slots open for guys and girls to come on in and just say, hey, I'm going to lock in TNA. I know everybody wants to go to AEW and WWE, but it's really not it's really no point in doing that. If you go to AEW, the only thing you're going to be doing is just making a decent bit of money and just rotting away on Collision and probably Ring of Honor, and every blue moon be featured on like a Dynamite, and that be about it. Because that's really what's happened, especially like a lot of the TNA talent that have jumped from TNA to AEW. They've not really done much of anything, and that's just a fact, right? Outside of guys like Kevin Knight, but other than that, everyone else is just like floundered basically, and that's the truth. Maybe TNA can also bring in the services of Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. I think we'll see those two pop up also. And I think that would be good for both of them. Again, Aleister Black could be a main event guy in TNA easily. Same thing if Sheamus comes through and Ilya Dragunov comes through. But I definitely think that both Sheamus and Ilya Dragunov will be AEW bound, more than likely. But if I was Aleister Black, man, I would really go to TNA. Especially if he has aspirations of being a world champion. Go to TNA. Seriously, go to TNA. Because what people got to realize, especially these mid-card guys, these mid-card acts, male or female, AEW is not going to be able to take everyone. And a lot of these people are going to have to get used to working smaller promotions. That's just what it's going to have to be. And I know people hate that shit, but hey, it is what it is. A lot of people thought that when both Mustafa Ali and Nic Nemeth were released, they were thinking they're going to be AEW bound, and it didn't happen. Same thing when Baron Corbin was released. It didn't happen. So hopefully we'll see more people jump ship, more releases pop up. Because, again, TNA desperately needs talent, and we need it. And I mean young talent, too. Not just established old talent, but also just, new young talent. But TNA, for the most part, was actually pretty decent. I like this show. This was a strong show. Bound for Glory is in about 6.5 to 7 weeks. I don't know if they're going to do Victory Road. Don't really know. They should. But you can't really tell because Bound for Glory is mega early this year. It's in early October. Normally Bound for Glory is like late October, like a week or two before Halloween. And this year, it's not the case. It's really like early October. It's like the second week of October, which is kind of early for TNA. Again, like I said before, usually Bound for Glory is usually towards the end of October. But hopefully they can figure out a really, really good card for that show. We've already got one match announced, which is great. Leon Slater versus Nic Nemeth for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And that match is going to be great. Again, this show was really good here. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and talk about the ratings. They were not good. The ratings for last week's show came in from August the 20th, and they did horrible. They drew 188K viewers and a 0.02 in the 18 to 49 demo. Not good. Again, these tape shows are hurting TNA. I have no idea why they continue to do tape shows. It doesn't make any sense. With their roster being so thin, they should be able to go live every single week. And even if they had a pretty decent roster, they should still be able to go live every single week. It just makes no sense. Even you have to go and use the same venue twice for that month, that's fine. But there is no need to just tape and then just do one live show a month. That's not cool, but it is what it is. Hopefully that changes in due time. Hopefully it does. Because again, when AMC went to do business with TNA, they should have immediately said, yeah, we'll do business with you guys, but we want you guys to be live every week. Because when they go live, they pull pretty decent numbers. They've been doing, collision numbers. And when they're in like the 188s and the low 180s and all that stuff, sometimes even, just over 100K, it's like they're doing fucking access numbers, which is not good. But it is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and get into this show. So, we kicked the show off with the Nemeth brothers, Ryan and Nic Nemeth. Ryan gloated about winning the tag titles from the Hardys again, and Nick holding the world title. That makes him the greatest family in the history of professional wrestling. So, Nic Nemeth brought up Leon Slater using option C. So, Slater, he showed up. He says he has a habit of saying things and getting it done. Leon Slater said that he'll become the youngest TNA World Champion in history. And Leon has his eye on the tag team titles. And he has a partner whom they never lost, that being Ricky Sosa. So Santino Marella came out and booked the main event of the evening, which was a tag match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. Okay, this is fine, I guess. It is what it is. All right, good stuff here. Moving on, this leads us into Mustafa Ali. He ended up phoning Mila Moore. He hit her up to inform her that he's still in the hospital after winning the Exhibition Championship at Lockdown. It was supposed to be Mustafa Ali against Agent Zero, but it's not going to happen. But instead, it's going to be John Skyler and Agent Zero. So Mustafa Ali ordered John Skyler to take his place. John Skyler was hesitant against wrestling Jason Hotch. Then Mila Moore said that he's the leader of Order 4 tonight in Mustafa Ali's absence. And Tasha she scoffed at this idea. So this is fun. I do expect for John Skyler at some point to be kicked out of the Order 4 as well. They're going to eventually kick out the Great Hands and replace them with people. Maybe this would be cool if they could bring Tyson and Tyreek from NXT when they got released. And they've been released for a minute, man. Like they were NXT talent. So, TNA should have been scooped those guys up. And maybe we'll see them in due time as well. But I think that'd be pretty good. Mustafa Ali, Agent Zero, and Tyson and Tyreek, because they were pretty okay, decent-sized guys. They weren't like small, skinny guys. These guys were like 220. They're like 240, 260. Like they weren't like bulky, but they had decent size to them. So hopefully that shit does happen. Moving on from that, this leads us into the first match of the night. Elijah defeats Bear Bronson. So he wins via the Tombstone Pile Driver. So I guess Elijah's the Undertaker now, I guess. Whatever. But they'll make Okada the Undertaker because he's the Tombstone in his matches as well. Which is weird as fuck to me because I don't understand why these moves are used as transition moves. Now, thankfully, it was smart for Elijah to use the Tombstone Pile Driver and win with it. It's just great. So I do like that. Post-match, the system beat the shit out of Elias. And we're still trying to figure out who attacked Elias. But we all know it's going to be the Wyatt Six. And that's going to be great. Now we got to see how many other members are they going to bring in. If I was TNA, I would try to bring in at least like 4 of them. So Samuel Shaw, a.k.a. Dexter Loomis. Joe Gacy, a.k.a. Joseph Sawyer. Or Sawyer. Bo Dallas, that'd be great. And Eric Rowan. And I think that would make sense. Because Nikki Cross is... she now has her own promotion. She bought, I think it was Progress, Yeah, so she bought Progress. Her and Big Damo ended up buying Progress. So I doubt they're going to even want to even work for another promotion. But those 4 I just mentioned would be fine. Bo Dallas, Dexter Loomis, Joe Gacy, and Eric Rowan. I think that would make the most sense. Moving on, this leads us into Atlanta Black. So, she basically cut a babyface promo, showing humility for losing at Lockdown. She said it meant a lot to wrestle in front of family and friends in Chicago. Atlanta is disappointed about not winning the Knockouts Championship. And then she says perhaps this is karma for her attitude. Now she wants to be an inspiration for little girls who want to be wrestlers. Atlanta Black is only 25, and this is her first year in TNA. She is only beginning. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, I guess. I don't know if I really like a babyface Atlanta Black. It makes no sense. I get you want to turn her babyface. I mean, why they turn her babyface in Chicago, but it just doesn't make any sense. It's like, she wanted to be a fucking OnlyFans model, and now she wants to really, give her all to pro wrestling. But again, she's only signed to TNA for a year. But I wouldn't be shocked if she ends up re-signing next year anyway. Because like I say, come January of next year, it's over. Her contract will be over with TNA. But I think she'll probably end up re-signing with TNA because it makes the most sense. I mean, WWE doesn't want her back, and AEW is not going to use her at all either. So it's just best for her to just basically stay with TNA. Again, if you want to be on television and stuff, stay with TNA. If you don't, go to MLW or NWA or GCW or whatever, right? But if you want to stay on television, definitely stay with TNA. So, I mean, this is fine, I guess. Moving on, Jason Hotch and Trey Miguel, they defeated John Skyler and Agent Zero. So, there's that. This is fine, I guess. Whatever. So, post-match, Mustafa Ali, he was on the big screen, laying down in a hospital bed. Mustafa Ali blamed Jason Hotch for the emotional strain on his wife and daughter. Mustafa Ali thinks this feud's gone too far, and he proposed a truce and welcomed Jason Hotch to rejoin the Order 4 with open arms. That makes sense. I do like this. I see this all being a ruse. I do think they'll probably end up both kicking out John Skyler and Jason Hotch, and they'll be replaced by Tyson and Tyreek. And hopefully it does go down like that, because TNA needs some more tag teams. Moving on from that, this leads us into the Righteous. They tried to approach BDE for recruitment. Rich Swann wants them to get the hell up out of there. Dutch is going to give BDE the opportunity to win a big singles match against him, I guess, next week. Who gives a shit? Moving on. This leads us into Avery Styles. He's backstage. He was interviewed by Gia Miller. He's excited to start his own story in TNA. So Moose showed up, and offered some advice to be careful who he associates with. So Musa accuses Frankie Kazarian of only helping people when it helps him. So Kaz, he interrupted to protect the kid from dumb advice. And I guess it seems like Avery is excited to work with Kaz. This is sort of kind of interesting. I do like this. Let's see where this stuff goes. And this is good. I'm very interested in this. Let's see where it goes. Good shit. Moving on. M by Elegance. She defeated Jaida Stone to become the inaugural Knockouts television champion. She wins. And this match was actually quite good. She worked the shoulder of Jaida Stone in this match, and also her ribs as well. They told the story that M has only been in wrestling for like 4 years and everything else, and that she's the bigger of the two, and which is true. I think M is like 5'11", 6 foot, something like that, or whatever, something like that, and Jaida is like probably like 5'2" to maybe 5'4" at best, and it showed. And with M winning, it makes sense. I do like this. However, I did predict that a babyface would win this whole thing, because I think they said that the television title has to be defended, I think, every week. But I wasn't paying really too close attention to it. But I may have misheard it, but that's what I was thinking that they were going to do, is have this be a weekly women's title defended on television. But I guess it's not going to be like that. And it's fine. I don't expect for M by Elegance to be champion long. Maybe like a month or 2 months at best. Nothing beyond that. Because it'll probably either go to Kiera Hogan or Jaida Stone. All right? Moving on, this leads us into a mystery attack. Matt Hardy found Jeff Hardy being taken out in the ambulance. So, there's that. That's fine. Again, this just all symbolizes the Wyatt Six. And they should be coming in sometime soon. So I like it. Good shit. Moving on from that, this leads us into Indi Hartwell. She spoke about nothing stopping her from her dream of winning the Knockouts World Championship. So Daria Ray shows up with advice for Indi to take her mediocre ass back to catering, which is hilarious. I did like that. I agree with that. Indi told Daria not to project her failed in-ring careers onto others. So Daria responded that if she ever returns to the ring, she kicked Indi Hartwell's ass. And then Zoey Stark showed up from behind, attacked her, and ended up hitting her finisher onto Indi Hartwell. So I like that. Her new name is Zoey Zanaro. So I like that. Zanaro. I like it. Really good stuff there. I'm glad that Zoey Stark is there in TNA. Perfect fit. Hopefully, Mandy Rose will eventually, at some point, show up in TNA. Yes, she's pregnant and all that, but I would love for her to be in TNA, right? Her and Sonya are best friends. Well, her and Daria are best friends, and I do think that she would fucking kill it in TNA. But Zoey Stark being in TNA is great. It makes perfect sense. This is the perfect fit for her, and I'm excited for this. And she'll be used right for sure, because there was no need for her to go to AEW. AEW and do what? What, be on fucking Ring of Honor or fucking Collision? Nah. I'm glad she's in TNA. Right decision. Hopefully Alba Fire shows up in TNA as well. I think that'd be great. All right, moving on from that. This leads us into a backstage segment involving Indi Hartwell and Harley Hudson. They get into it with Zaya Brookside and everything. So Daria, she basically doubled down by reporting Indi Hartwell's verbal assault to the board on her permanent record. And then Santino said he's going to look into that. And he made it a tag match It's going to be Harley Hudson and Indi Hartwell versus Zoey Stark and Xia Brookside next week. So that should be fun there. Moving on, this leads us into the main event of the evening. The Nemeths, Nic and Ryan Nemeth, they defeat Leon Slater and Ricky Sosa to retain the TNA World Tag Team Championships. Ricky Sosa ate the pin. Nic ended up hitting the danger zone for the 1, 2, 3, and that was all she wrote. That was the show. Match was fine. So there is that. They're building the feud and starting to build for Leon Slater and Nic Nemeth. That should be fine there. I like what they're doing with Leon Slater. I like what they're doing with Ricky Sosa. Apparently there's going to be a tournament for the vacated X Division Championship, and qualifying matches start next week, so that should be fun there. Hopefully either Trey Miguel or Ricky Sosa will end up winning, and that makes sense. I do think that Trey Miguel should be higher on the card, but it is what it is at this point in time. So I'm excited for that. M by Elegance winning the inaugural Knockouts Television Championship. That's fine. I'm okay with that. It's not bad. Again, I don't expect for her to be champion long. Maybe a month to 2 months at best. Nothing beyond that. Zoey Stark debuting is fine. That's great. Got a really good debut out of her. Hopefully, we can see some more debuts as well. So I like that. Again, we got about 7 weeks to build for Bound for Glory. And hopefully TNA begins to bring in some new talent at some point in time, which I think they will, for sure. But all in all, the show was okay. And hopefully, since this was a live show, hopefully the ratings will increase a lot more for the ratings for when they come out next week. But we'll have to wait and see how everything plays out. But what do you guys think of the show? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.